Hey everybody, I'm Matt with Halloween Daily News. Welcome back to the Halloween Show. This is episode 26 for Friday, April 9th, 2021. We've got a great show for you. We got a preview clip from part 2 of my recent interview with Damien Leone that we're going to premiere here in just a couple minutes. But first up, this week we finally got our first look at the animated feature film adaptation of Batman: The Long Halloween when the official trailer for part 1 dropped earlier this week. Here's more on that, along with our roundup of this week's headlines. The first official trailer for the animated adaptation Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 was released this week. Adapting the classic mid-1990s comic book story, the film stars Jensen Ackles of Supernatural and My Bloody Valentine '09 as Batman, along with Naya Rivera, the late Glee star who died in July of 2020, having already completed her voice work as Catwoman. The voice cast also includes Josh Duhamel as Harvey Dent, Billy Burke as James Gordon, Titus Welliver as Carmen Falcone, David Dastmalchian as Calendar Man, Troy Baker as Joker, Amy Landecker as Barbara Gordon, Julie Nathanson as Gilda Dent, Jack Quaid of the upcoming Scream as Alberto, Fred Tatasciore as Solomon Grundy, and Alistair Duncan as Alfred. Chris Palmer of Superman Man of Tomorrow is directing from a script that reteams him with Man of Tomorrow screenwriter Tim Sheridan. Inspired by the iconic mid-90s DC story from Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 begins as a brutal murder on Halloween prompts a young vigilante, the Batman, to form a pact with the city's only two uncorrupt lawmen, James Gordon and Harvey Dent, in order to take down the Roman, the head of a notorious and powerful Falcone crime family. But when more deaths occur on Thanksgiving and Christmas, it becomes clear that instead of ordinary gang violence, they're also dealing with a serial killer, the identity of whom, with each conflicting clue, grows harder to discern. Few cases have ever tested the wits of the world's greatest detective like the mystery behind the holiday killer. The MPA has rated Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 PG-13 for violence, bloody images, language, and some smoking. The Long Halloween Part 2 has officially been rated R for some violence and bloody images. The original 13-issue comic book story was published from 1996 through 97. There's been much speculation that director Matt Reeves' live-action The Batman will also be a loose adaptation of The Long Halloween. Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 will be released this summer, with Part 2 to follow in the fall, from Warner Brothers Animation, DC, and Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. While we look forward to the new Ghostbusters Afterlife movie being released later this year, the classic When Halloween Was Forever episode of the 1980s animated series The Real Ghostbusters is now thankfully available to watch online for free on YouTube. The official Ghostbusters YouTube channel has currently been adding episodes each week from season 1 of the show, including the iconic episode 8, which originally premiered on November 1, 1986, and introduced the world to the pumpkin-headed villain known as Samhain. In the episode, when ancient ruins from Ireland arrive in New York for examination, the evil spirit of Samhain is released, who declares that Halloween should last forever and calls forth an army of the night. I don't know about you, but I think this should be the plot of the next live-action Ghostbusters movie. Samhain actually returned in season 2 in the episode Halloween 2.5, when two goblins snuck into the Halloween party at the firehouse and released Samhain from the containment unit. You can watch the Real Ghostbusters episode 8, When Halloween Was Forever, in its entirety right now on the Ghostbusters YouTube channel. Halloween Daily News exclusively broke the news this week that Scout Taylor Compton will join her Halloween 2007 co-star Tyler Mane at the Haunted Screams Expo horror convention this September in Hampton, Virginia. Compton also starred in The Runaways, Ghost House, April Fool's Day '08, and the ABC series Nashville, among other credits. She, of course, played Laurie Strode in writer-director Rob Zombie's '07 Halloween remake and its 2009 sequel Halloween 2, where she faced off against Tyler Mane as Michael Myers. The full lineup for this year's Haunted Screams Expo also includes Art the Clown himself, David Howard Thornton, as well as many more guests still to be announced in the coming weeks. The Haunted Screams Expo is hosted by horror cosplayer Latrim to Soul, a regular on the convention circuit for many years. The event will also feature 2 haunted houses on site, a charity raffle, 100 vendors, a makeup effects contest, costume contest for both kids and adults on both days, and much more. The second Haunted Screams Expo takes place September 18th and 19th, 2021 at the Hampton Roads Convention Center in Hampton, Virginia. You can learn more and get tickets now at hauntedscreams.com. Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills co-stars Jamie Lee Curtis and James Jude Courtney, as well as executive producer Jason Blum, are among the presenters that were announced this week to be taking part in handing out the 2021 Fangoria Chains Awards, which will be televised globally for the first time on Shudder this month. The ceremony recognizes outstanding achievement in horror film and television. It'll be hosted by actor and writer David Dismalkian and feature Jamie Lee Curtis along with Keith David, Gigi Saul Guerrero, Issa Lopez, Kevin Smith, Jason Blum, Doug Jones, James Jude Courtney, and many more as presenters. This year's nominated films include The Invisible Man, Freaky, The Dark and the Wicked, Host, and Possessor, as well as actors Vince Vaughn, Catherine Newton, Clancy Brown, and Elizabeth Moss. This year's ceremony will be filmed and hosted virtually with pre- and post-show events on social media. The ceremony will premiere exclusively on the Shudder TV feed, available only on Shudder's TV and mobile apps and online at shudder.com. The ceremony will also be released via Fangoria's online and social platforms after the Shudder premiere. Since 1992, the Chainsaw Awards have honored top achievements in the horror genre, with past recipients including Sam Raimi and George Romero. The Chainsaw Awards 2021 edition will premiere on Sunday, April 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on Shudder. Of course, you can read more about all of those stories right now at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Our main feature this week is a preview of part 2 of my recent interview with Damien Leone, writer, director, makeup effects artist of Terrifier, All Hallows Eve, Frankenstein vs. the Mummy, and of course, the highly anticipated sequel, Terrifier 2. Here's an exclusive clip of Damien giving us just a taste of what we can expect from the sequel. Check it out. Did you always have an idea to do a sequel or sequels as you were working on Terrifier, or did that come later?
I did, and that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to put the sort of like the wraparound cliffhanger at the end of Terrifier 1, because originally it was just supposed to end with him just shooting himself and being dead. Like, I still knew I wanted to make more, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to just like leave the audience with the notion that it's over, like he's gone. I want them to know that he's like, there's more, there's something still brewing, like he's gonna potentially come back. But I didn't know exactly what the story was, but I knew about after I filmed, was it All Hallows? No, it was before. It was way before. So after I filmed The Ninth Circle, I think I actually tried to make a feature film with Art the Clown. Okay. It was Art and it was basically Rob Zombie's 31. And this was like 2009-ish. So it was Art and these 2 other demons abducting women. They all wake up in this abandoned place, and the 3 of them are just hunting them all night. Like, it was another just bare bones kind of crazy movie like that. And the lead protagonist was basically the Sienna character, who is this angel character that you see on the poster of Terrifier 2. So it wasn't, her name wasn't Sienna, and the characters changed drastically, but it was still, the idea was this final girl dressed as this angel. So I always knew that was my favorite character that I ever wrote, ever. So I knew that character was always there, and I knew one day I was gonna bring that character back and actually finally make a movie with her. So she was like the heart and soul of part 2, and everything just revolves around that character. So I always knew that seed was there. And I wrote it relatively quick when I actually had time to sit down and do nothing but write the script. I think I wrote it in like 3 months. And it just sort of flowed out of me. I mean, it came really, really natural, which is a good thing, I think. So yeah, but no, it's wild. I cannot wait for. I don't think people have any idea what they're in store for. I honestly don't. It's so drastically different than Terrifier 1, but has all the elements that people loved about part 1. But that's just a fraction of what the movie is. Like, we built this whole universe around that element of art just being this slasher. So it's going to be really cool. Really cool.
Oh, it sounds epic. I mean,
yeah. It's pretty epic for the budget that we have. It's ridiculously ambitious, absolutely ambitious. We when we first were shopping it around, because we assumed this movie was gonna probably cost around $1 million. Like, that's how big the script was. I didn't even consider budget when I was writing it. Like, I just wrote as if I was going to have a budget to make Star Wars. Like, whatever, any crazy idea I had, I put it into the script, and then you worry about it later, and then you just chip away when reality sets in. And we took it to this one company that was willing to make it for a nice amount of money, probably somewhere around like $700,000 or whatnot. But they wanted me to like just drastically cut it down, and they wanted me to film it in like 20 days, only 20 days, with like 5 days of pickups for special effects. When I tell you now we're moving into like day 70, I mean, this is like a 2-hour epic movie. It's huge. Yeah. I mean, it just would have never been possible. I can't even imagine what the movie would have been. Plus they wanted me to like just give away the rights to Art the Clown, and I just wasn't. I just wasn't feeling it. So, we had to figure out a way to make it for a fraction of that price. But the miracle is we wound up putting everything that was in the script into the movie. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. So it's all there. We didn't cut anything out, which is wild. I mean, that's one of the reasons why it's taken so long to make the movie. Is because we didn't cut anything out, and because all of these scenes are huge, and we basically just have to stop production and gear up for another big scene. So we'll stop, and I have to build all the effects, and then we have to build sets. I mean, there's so many sets in this movie. It's just it's so big. So yeah, people, I mean, to go from Terrifier 1, when you walk into this, you're going to think you're just stepping into another dimension. I really believe that. So.
All right, there's lots more where that came from in part 2 of my exclusive new interview with Damien Leone. It drops this Wednesday right here on the Halloween Daily News YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Until then, I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching.